So, you want to learn to be a pilot? Hemorrhage money during a pandemic? Me too. Roll intro.
Previously on
Right rudder Kurt.
Alright, what altitude are we in right now?
we are in cruise.
You nailed it.
Your instructor is one of the finest pilots this program has ever produced.
Can I be in the nose-up attitude?
I want to say no, because you theoretically would be climbing, but
His exploits are legendary.
What attitude are we in?
we're in cruise.
We're in the nose-up attitude.
What he has to teach you may very well mean the difference between life and death.
I have to admit, I wasn't expecting an invitation back.
They're called orders.
Kurt. Welcome back, aviation YouTubers, to the final installment of my three-part mini-series on Lesson 1 of Becoming a Pilot. If you haven't seen that second video, go ahead and click right here. My name is Right Rudder Kurt, and welcome to my brand new channel, where I take you, the pilot, the student, the enthusiast, the plane spotter, and the av geek on my journey from day one of flight training all the way through commercial ratings and everything in between. The sky's the limits on this channel. So I have a suspicion that you're only returning for my amazing jokes. So let's dive right into it. Why do stormtroopers make the best pilots? They never hit anything. You know, because like in the movies, they're always shooting and like they miss everything. You get it? Yeah, of course. It's actually a good one. In today's video, we will continue where we left off with attitudes and movements and an introduction into landing an airplane. If you're excited to land an airplane for the first time, then go ahead, like, subscribe, and ring that bell. I truly appreciate the support, and it helps out this channel immensely. Now sit back, buckle in, and throttle up.
It says on there that we're doing 90 knots on the inside,
Right.
and our ground speed is 75. So what is that telling us?
So
We have a headwind,
we have a headwind, because, yeah.
right? Sweet, man. Yeah, we're gaining a little bit. Sweet, man. That's about it. So that's a precursor to the next lesson, but generally attitudes and movements, that's what we're working on. So I'll get you to take control.
I have control.
And then, yeah, so go ahead and play with that. Play with the attitude. So you're in full control. Tell me what you want to do and then execute it.
So I want to go nose up.
Okay.
We're going to lose.
So let's say 6,600. It's good to keep a round number, like 6,500, something that's easy to look at.
Okay.
So just try to keep that, whatever power setting. So there's a saying, I don't know if we already went through that briefing, but attitude plus power equals performance. So the performance that you want right now, let's say, is a nose-up attitude.
Yep.
What do you have to do in order to hold it? You have to add power.
Add power.
Otherwise, we're going to lose too much
That's
airspace.
right. So
So you're kind of doing it. You're finessing. That's what you're doing right now. You're playing with the power, and you're getting that nose-up attitude so that you're not gaining or losing.
So if I'm climbing, I can just reduce the power, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, it's pitch for airspeed, power for altitude.
So
Your pay as you go. So it's like ultimately, like our lesson plans in school, we normally do 0.8 because we figured out that that's a good way to, that's a good amount. It's not too much, it's not too little.
yeah, I'm
So
cool with that.
If you want to do with those lesson plans, I'll expect a lot of you to be able to make sure you get to that standard.
Yep.
If you need extra, just let me know. So you're obviously paying for it, right? So
Yep,
right now,
100%.
if we go inbound, we'll be able to get back into a 0.8. So my control.
You have control?
So coming in inbound, we have like, there's a couple of unofficial rules. Well, they are actually official rules. Whenever we come into an airport, we need to be at what's called circuit height. So that's 1,000 feet above the elevation, which is 4,600.
Okay.
If I want to cross over for an inspection to look at the windsock, I have to be 500 feet above circuit altitude. So that's 1,500 feet above.
Okay.
1,500 feet above 3,600, 5,100. I'm at 6,100. So I have to descend right now to get there. Is it busy today, man? People are flying. Really busy. The on RRK frequency, all over Alberta, BC, and for everybody, right?
Oh, really?
It's just frequency range. So the higher we go, the more I'm going to pick up red here. I can pick up Edmonton, but if we're low, I'm not going to be picking up any Edmonton's calls.
Right,
It's kind of nice like that.
Yeah.
Helicopter, Foxtrot Zulu, Sierra, we're about 5 miles.
Kind of controlling. I'm 1,000 feet per minute. That's not too much for my descent. That's controllable and comfortable. I'm coming in at 100 miles an hour, so not too fast, kind of comfortable. And I can change this, see? So I'm coming at 1,000 feet per minute. If I want to come in at 600 feet per minute, I'm just going to pitch up, and I can trim for this, right?
Shop 26-7 in the Alberta
Fire base, I can pitch down just a little bit.
3 mile final for land, ding at the fire base, sending conflicting steering, Tango,
So that's 600 feet per minute. This is 2,000 feet per minute. Okay, I'll show you what it feels like.
Sandra, what plan
Yeah, like that.
This is 1,000, 1,500 feet. This one makes passengers feel very comfortable. I want to stay 5,100 though, so
Okay.
yeah, I'm gonna have to power a little bit.
We're westbound for the Turner Valley and Longview area next. Going to be doing low level of work in that area for the next couple hours.
This is busy, man. I just gotta make a call. Okotoks traffic, Golf Alberta Foxtrot 5 to the east, inbound for landing, 5,100 for an overhead inspection. Any conflict Alpha Delta Foxtrot. Cool, man. So yeah, so 5,100 we're trying to stay at. So I'll come back up for the overhead inspection. But generally I was waiting to make a call to switch from en route to Okotoks. That's a good procedure. When the zone is 5 miles.
Okay.
So I was 6 and I was hoping to make a call on the en route frequency, but it was just so busy.
Right.
And I'm coming inbound, so I need to give everybody a call to know what I'm doing. So we're coming in at 2,200 here, 5,100. So normally we cross over the field, midfield. That's the best practice that we're doing, but they're ahead of us, so there should be no conflict. When I cross over, I have to be at 1,500 feet because now he's crossing over at 1,000. So now we're going to be going like this.
So he's coming towards us?
Absolutely.
Okay.
So now, I'm keeping that 1,500 feet. There's no conflict. He's going to be right underneath us. I don't got visual on him yet, but
No, I don't either.
we'll be looking for him. He might be already underneath us. And then I'm going to be descending over the city, same as him. And now I have to be 1,000 feet while crossing over this time.
Oh, so when we come back, we have to be at 1,000.
So yeah, we're at 1,500. We'll descend over the city, do a teardrop. So we'll go to the right, then we'll turn to the left.
Okay.
The runway's back there. So I'm going to start that descent.
Okay. So did he call yet? Like, do we know where he is?
Lima Trailer X-ray, Alpha Delta Foxtrot. Are you on the east side of the runway?
Alpha Delta Foxtrot, Lima Trailer X-ray. We are downwind for 16. Just put turn 5 or to base.
Nice. So I'm going to start the descent because they're on the east side of the city now. So if I stay at 100, my radius of my turn is going to push me outside. So I'm pitching up right now. I am descending, but I'm pitching up to get to 80 because if I go to a lower airspeed, my radius becomes much smaller, but I'm not doing a steep turn. I'm still only doing 20-degree bank. But see, once I get to 80 now, look at our turn. Our radius is tiny. It looks like we're doing a steep turn, but it's just because we have a lower airspeed. If I come in with a higher airspeed, it'll just push us out all over the city.
Gotcha.
It's a little trick. If you understand the characteristics of flight like that, the aircraft is capable of so much. If you're screaming at 120, you're going to have to do like a 30 or 45-degree turn to do the exact same turn that we're doing right now. So there he is. See that little white?
Yeah, I see him.
He's a mile away. If he was 2 miles, it's a tiny dot, man. Especially if he was covered by clouds in the background, a white plane. Are you going to see that?
No way.
Not very well.
Barely see him now as it is.
Yeah. So we have to be a mile out before I start my turn onto the downwind.
And what's your reference point for a mile?
I kind of like get a feel for it. Like I look back at the runway and I feel like this is a mile, so this is where I turn.
I'll take your word for it.
Yeah. Some people like they use visual references, like they'll be like, this is the farm, the red barn, so I'm going to make my turn here. To me, that's like if you do that, you go to an airport and then you don't know what the reference is, right?
Right.
So this to me is a mile.
Okay.
And some people use so they see the strut on the wing.
Yes.
Halfway or 3/4 up the strut, if that's where the runway is as a marker, then that's probably a good place.
Okay.
Okie traffic, Golf Alpha Delta Foxtrot on left downwind for runway 16 full stop. So I'm Singapore.
We'll expedite our backtracking to Alpha.
So I'm saying a 4,600. I have to do a downwind check. So it's checklist to the line right here. So descent and landing. So you can read that off. But I'm basically doing mags on both, masters on both, fuel on both. We left it on right. That's not good.
Yeah,
and
right.
then what else? I'm going to carb heat at the end here because I'm at a 45-degree angle. Reduce the power, get to 80. Start my turn.
80 is right now.
And then I can start to do flaps. Flaps, they increase our forward visibility, they increase our left and drag, they lower our stall speed. Flaps are awesome. So I'm still at 80, come down to 20. See that? Now look at our visual reference. We get a lot more ground now.
Right, yeah.
And I got about 1,500 RPM. I never say a distinct power setting because if the winds are strong, you're going to have more power coming in.
Makes sense.
Whereas some other people, they'll be like 1,700 all the way in and 16 full stop. So nice, so we're nice and control. So 65, 75 is what we can come in at now.
Okay.
So I can do landing light on. We're nice and control. I'm going to put 30-degree flap now. I'm going to do a technique which is called a short field technique.
Okay.
So if we had half the runway distance, let's see if we're going to make it, okay? So now here's full flap. So my stall speed, or my airspeed goes down right away.
Yep.
And I can count at 65, 75. I'm at 70. It's kind of a perfect place to be. I keep my hand on the power all the way in, and I'm going to do a little bit of trim up. Makes it easier to land with that. So you see the wind is like it's pushing us coming from the west?
Yeah.
So I've been set up here, but it keeps pushing me to the east a little bit. So I'll do what's called a side slip. So I'm doing my wing into the wind, and I'm doing the rudder just to make sure my approach path is straight. So this 65, 75, the beginning of the runway shouldn't be going up or down.
Okay.
That's kind of my reference point, okay? We're going to try to land on the line past the numbers. So I take the power off completely here because I know we're going to float. That's looking good. There we go, line past the numbers. Oh, the wind from the west.
Totally,
You
hey?
feel that?
Yeah, I totally did.
And that's pretty subtle, right?
Ah.
Pretty subtle wind it shows. So that short field, we landed on the line past the numbers. I keep my back pressure and I'm applying brakes. In real life, we would want to land in the first half of the runway, first third of the runway.
Okay.
And I'm stopping in halfway down the runway. So that's not too bad.
No, not bad at all.
We could have stepped on the brakes a lot more firmer, but it just wears the brakes, right? So I just simulate it, right? But in real life, if you had a really short landing, that's what you're going to do. Full brake. Nice, man. So,
Yeah.
Okie traffic, Golf, Apple Delta Foxtrot, backtrack, runway 16, exit on Alpha. So now we're going to, so we talked about the whole chart line, right?
Right.
So we can cross it, but we have to, all the moving parts will stop just beyond that, and then we'll do our after landing checklist.
Sounds good.
So the wind is coming from behind me, so technically I want to dive away from it right now, so that it's not pushing me as a tailwind. Some people will start their after landing checks here. We don't have to stress that until we're past the whole short line. Sweet, man.
Awesome.
We're going to get you there, man.
Yeah,
We do those. Your heart get racing when you come in, or
oh, for sure. Everything's overwhelming. Like,
Yeah.
oh, man, like, how are you? You're doing carb
It's
heat
it's
and
baby
trim at the
steps.
same time. And
It's baby steps, man.
oh,
Okay, so all of our moving parts now are past the line here.
okay.
I take the power off. Obviously, I'm not riding the brakes, right? Now we can do after landing checks. So
All right.
carb heat off, flaps up.
So landing lights off,
landing lights
curb off, transponder to alt. We
Sorry,
got.
no, I got the time.
Flaps are going to be up.
Flaps are up.
And they're already up. Time you noted. Now, should we neutral trim for him? Which we already are.
Pretty close, man.
Yep.
We're good.
Okay.
Excellent, man. That's good. Okay, traffic, Golf, Alpha Delta Foxtrot down and clear of the active taxi back to the terminal by Alpha. We love taxiing here.
Okay.
So under 1,000 RPM roughly, back pressure. Let's stay
Pressure.
center line with the right rudder.
Right. So right rudder, center line, a little
Dude,
bit more.
This guy's got like a Fast and the Furious situation going on here. If you're if you or something, you should go see all the cars he has, man. Look at all these cars.
You're kidding me right now?
Dude,
Look at
it's
that.
crazy, man. He's got no airplanes. He's got no
He's,
airplanes.
he's got a hangar for his cars.
It's like Fast and the Furious. He's got no planes, man.
Oh, that's incredible.
Yeah, it's wild, man. Okay, so yeah, I wanted
Now-
to get a feel for the taxing, but just when we're coming in here, I'm going to take it into Cessna too.
You have it.
That's my favorite parking spot right beside the school there.
Okay.
I want to put a sign there like Grant's parking spot. Sweet, man. All right. So we can debrief inside too, but
Yeah.
how'd that go? You got any questions?
Oh, man. I don't even know what just happened. Did we even fly? I don't even know.
Nice. We'll tuck this tail away back there. Nice. Okay. Dude, the winds are good so far right now, man. I hope everybody keeps flying.
That worked out for us.
Nice and straight here. Reverse the power. We can do a shutdown check now.
Yeah. Oh, park brake.
So we won't do the park brake because we're going to push it back.
Okay.
You wouldn't realize.
Gotcha. Radial 121.5 for the next guy.
I'm going to get you to change that.
Okay, so this is the one that we change.
That's
And
standby, yeah. This is the one you need.
okay, so
And our knob will do the big numbers.
okay, so I need to go on 121.5.
So now we're going to put that active.
Like this.
Absolutely.
Boom.
So
Okay.
now we're listening to see, because it's only frequency range, so if somebody's going down in high river right now, we'll be potentially the first people to hear it. So we do the right as we're shutting down. Then to make sure that our ELT is not transmitting outward, we would hear it on there. So when we pull this out, we would hear kind of like a siren kind of noise.
Oh, so we're just confirming that it's not going off.
Absolutely.
Gotcha.
So now we can switch this and scramble it so that the next guy doesn't talk on that accidentally. Because if we left it on there, 1215, that would have been a bad situation. So I just go like that, and I just scramble it a little bit for the next guy.
Okay.
That's good.
Cool. Electrical equipment. So that's where we're going to go. Does it matter what order?
No.
Okay.
Turn them all off.
So, off.
Yeah. Click.
Off. Click.
Welcome back, Aviation.